If you haven't achieved the success that you desire and you deserve, stay tuned because we're going to go over some more vital skills that the top 5%ers have that make them successful influencers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And we're on the 6th of 7 different videos where we're talking about vital skills that the top 5%ers possess on a normal basis. Okay, I mean, these are skills that these people possess that help make them to be in the top echelon of people, the successful people. So we're going to start right now. We're going to go to number 21. I've already given you 20. Let's go 21, 22, 23, and 24, and we'll finish it up next time with our last video on this subject. Number 21, know how to set up a division of labor. This is a key element in the success of any project. You know, if most of the time, if you're doing something substantial, it's not going to be just you alone. You're going to have a team around you. And one of the key elements to that is being able to divide up the labor so that you are the most productive as a team. So that's why you don't want your field goal kicker throwing the pass, 80 yards into the end zone. That's not going to be a very productive division of labor. You follow what I'm saying? So what you want to do is you want to figure out who should be doing what. Let me give you kind of a real basic example. Now, typically if you take the stereotype of men and women, the man is the one that fixes the stuff around the house, that's handy with the tools, so on and so forth, and the woman is the one that does the cooking, the culinary person. Well, clearly in my second marriage, all right, we had a little bit of a problem. You see, the wife was very, very handy around the house. As a matter of fact, when I met her, I was making a sales call, and I met her, and she was fixing up, putting, wiring in and fixing things in the house and redoing it and so on and so forth. And I was really impressed with that because that's, for somebody that doesn't know jack about changing a tire, doesn't know jack about a jack, so to speak, it was easily impressed. People that are mechanics that can fix the car, they impress me. All right, these are skills that I don't have. I'm not particularly good with anything like that. As a matter of fact, that comes down from my dad, from my programming. That's something I should have seen to, but I didn't. But anyway, the point is, anytime something broke down in the house, I mean, this lady was potentially a client, and then she became my wife. Our division of labor was, sweetheart, I need you to fix that. Sweetheart, I need you to fix that. And she would be the one doing it. On the other hand, she was perhaps one of the worst cooks of all times. All right, she was not a particularly good in the kitchen. As a matter of fact, a story I like to tell is when we were going out at first, Thanksgiving came by, and she said, Eli's dad, I'd like to invite you to spend Thanksgiving with me and with my mom and dad. I thought, like, I'm making some progress here, yo. All right. So I said, fine. I said, I'll be glad to help you. She says, no, I want to cook this. I want to impress you. So anyway, she invited over to Thanksgiving, and we're waiting and her mom and dad come by, and they only speak Spanish. All right, so it's very difficult for me to communicate, but I'm doing a lot of smiling and trying to say some nice things, and they speak a little English, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally her mom asks, how's the turkey coming? And she looks in and she goes, still not ready yet. And then her mom says to her, what time did you put it in? And she says, 10:30, which even I understand to be 10:30. And she says, 10:30? Okay, and it was like 3 o'clock, and the needle wasn't moving. Well, turns out, she opened the oven, she forgot to turn the oven on. So we have all these dishes that she made, you know, the mashed potatoes, you know, the casserole, all that stuff, you know, ready to go, and we're going to be waiting several hours for the turkey. Now, this is kind of representative of her skill set in that particular area. But you know what? Not everybody's good at everything. And as badly as she was in the kitchen, I was pretty good in the kitchen. So our division of labor in the house was she did the stuff around the house, fixing stuff, and I did all the cooking. That was the proper division of labor. Stop and think about the project that you are looking to complete. Figure out who's going to be the best person in each particular position. What skills do people have? And the other thing is, when you're a leader, people a lot of times have hidden skills that you don't realize. If you find out about your people, you can put them in a position to use those skills because they're going to love doing it. I enjoyed the cooking. She enjoyed fixing the stuff around the house. So one of the skills you have to have if you want to be in that 5% group is you have to know how to set up a division of labor that is going to help you make progress. Number 22, you have to know how to be tolerant. Persistence. A grinder. You have to realize Rome isn't built in a day. You have to realize, you know, while you may set a time limit, you know, I'm going to get this done by such and such a time, that's all well and good, but if you've been able to enlist the aid of the infinite partner has his own timeline of when things are going to get done. So you have to be patient about it. We talked about being patiently impatient. You also have to be tolerant. There are going to be, you know, it's just like raising a child. You know, little kids, one of the things you know about little kids is they're going to poop in their pants. All right? And you're going to have to take care of that. You're going to have to make your child comfortable. You're going to have to be tolerant. You're going to have to give them a hug, give them a kiss, so on and so forth. You're going to have to be tolerant. People are going to poop in their pants all through your life and in different projects. One of the things you have to do is you have to be tolerant. You have to be willing to say, okay, mistakes happen, let's move on. Because if you're there and you belittle to no end, what ends up happening is you've taken all of the wherewithal of the person that you need to help you to get a job done. You've got to be tolerant to a major degree. Does that make sense? Tolerance is a virtue. There are so many people that have no tolerance that it just ruins their chances to be in that 5% group. You have to be willing to accept that not only are you going to make mistakes, but other people are going to make mistakes as well. Number 23, you have to know how to use your subconscious mind. We've talked about this on this pulpit so many different ways. One of the major differences between the 5%er and the 95%er is the use of their subconscious mind. It's opening that corridor between you and the infinite mind. The best way to do that is to plant some seeds right before you go to sleep, right before you cross over from consciousness to unconsciousness. Plant the seed. When you plant that seed, see the end result. Don't figure the how. Just figure the end result. If you figure the how, part of the message that you're sending, part of the vibe that you're sending to the universe is the how, which you've probably already tried to do and failed. That's why you're having a difficult time. You tried, you failed. You need a new paradigm, a new perspective, a new angle. Don't give the same angle that you've already given that hasn't worked. Give the end result. And when you do that, the infinite mind will search through your memory banks for different ways to get a job done and will give you a mind flash now, or create a circumstance that you couldn't predict or plan to help you to achieve your burning desire. You send that message up there. Key point though is you got to get that subconscious mind to work for you. So you got to send that message clearly, but don't send the how, send the end result. Leave room for the infinite mind to land the plane, leave the runway open to give you ideas that you haven't already had. And as we've already said many times, one of the things you have to do is to give yourself some relaxed, focused time where, you know, like we said, you're brushing your teeth, boom, an idea comes to you, you're driving down the road, you see a billboard, you connect that idea with something. When you're in a relaxed state of mind, that's the best time to be a receiver. So know how to use your subconscious mind. Makes sense? And I have a zillion videos on that. The Owner's Manual for Your Brain is a series that I did on that, and you can go to the description box below and check that one off as well. These are skills that you want to have. Number 24, know how to handle anger. Too many people have a knee-jerk reaction to things that happen to them or things that people say to them. What I always say is, don't make the shortest distance the one between your brain and your mouth. Be careful what you say. You know, you can think different things, but don't make them come out of your mouth. Give yourself some time. You know, and to use a common technology, once again, the principle remains the same, technology changes. All right? Before, the technology was somebody did something and you opened your big mouth and you said something and you blew it. And you were sorry you said it, but you can't take it back. What's the modern version of that? Is when you hit the send button. Okay? Before you hit the send button, give yourself some time to think. Now, is there a little methodology to help you do that? Yeah, there's something that I use. I'd love to hear what some of you folks use. But one of the things I always do is when I get upset, when I get angry, one of the things that I do is I always give myself at least overnight, if not 24 hours. Why? Because if you say something right then, it's your emotion talking. And if you want to be a problem solver, not only do you need emotion, but you need logic. And logic is more important. As a matter of fact, one of the things we always said in sales was that people buy on emotion, but they justify their purchases with logic. Does that make sense? They buy on emotion, but they justify with logic. So you want to get that person to emotional level, but you have to back it up with some serious constructive logic, or the person's going to have buyer's remorse. What's worse than that is when you say something, when you're angry and you blurt something out and you say something, and then the second you said it, or even like an hour or two later, you say, oh boy, I wish I hadn't said that. The person that you said it to is not going to forget that you said it. So you must have some anger management. You must know how to handle your anger. The best way to do that, once again, is to give yourself at least overnight, if not 24 full hours, because that will give you time to put yourself in the other person's shoes and to come up with some logical reasons why your position is right and their position is not so right. Or it will give you time to figure out that their position is right and your position wasn't right, and then you're in the position of making an apology. But the point is, you've got to give yourself time. Don't have a knee-jerk reaction when you get bad news or when somebody says something detrimental to you. Give yourself some time. Anger management. Because what happens is you will burn a bridge that you don't want to burn. Am I right on that? All right. Next time we get together, we're going to go over the final 4 different vital skills that are necessary to make you a powerful and successful influencer. But remember, as always, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.